This is for the Winter Major's last spot from Europe G1 versus Quadrant. Only one team can go. The other's going to have to watch from home.
For G1, they have played as much Rocket League as they could possibly get through throughout this weekend. One more series to go, but for them, they've already been in this position where it was one more series earlier on. They would argue that was against tougher competition. Quadrant would say, not a chance, lads. This is going to be your real test.
Yeah, G1, they've played to keep themselves in this run 2 times so far this weekend, knowing that a win was required to force the tiebreak, and they won both times. They beat Vitality, and they just beat German Amigos as well. So that's some quality wins for G1 on the day. Looking to get a third here, and how special would that be to see Mark by 8 back on LAN? Ever since he got removed from BDS, he's the one with the first realistic shot on target, and it's punched clear by Quadrant. And it's not going to be able to, they're not going to stop in this one though. Mark gets another chance. This time, the sniper is back.
Well, they are not tired in the slightest. G1 up and running immediately with unrelenting pressure. They've got the first goal, and it's Mark by 8, the one to do it. Gonna need some more of that as well, because this has been the worry when it comes to Quadrant. Sometimes they get up and running a little bit slowly. Can't do that in this series, not against a G1 that is very warm coming into this.
Very close cheats by both teams there. They're taking the risks. They're willing to take the risks with everything on the line. Dorito looking for his debut RLCS LAN. Atomic likewise. Of course, they have played at Gamers 8 last year, but as far as RLCS goes, this would be a first for them. Meanwhile, across the other side of the field, you got Relating Wave trying to stay the only player who's made every open year RLCS LAN coming out of Europe. How incredible.
Is that true? I did not realize that.
I'm pretty sure that's true. We're going to need D-Rec to fact check me on that. Now you've made me doubt myself. But yeah, Relating Wave, he's made the ball.
About.
Yeah, he's on a pretty good streak here. This is a great chance now for Ixo to score. He takes it. Cash sets it up. Ixo puts it home.
Well, if he is going to keep that stat going, then he's going to be looking towards those players either side of him. They've been the playmakers ever since this squad was put together. Going to continue on that way, and crucially, Quadrant have got themselves on the board. Now up and running. That's a good kickoff for them as well. Cash, well, he did want to have time on the ball, and Mark by 8 was good and very aware to spot the danger and make sure he hits Cash's car.
Yeah, it's such an important thing to look out for in kickoffs, especially if you can't get back to the ball. Make sure to take the opponent out of the game. Oh, nice. A save by Cash. Is still in the danger area, but his team are first to it, and it does go clear. It was just enough on that ball by Cash. He was almost too high for it, but he managed to flip down low again. Stop it dead on the goal line.
Far corner, a couple of demos. Ixo takes control. It's a very physical game being played at the moment. It has given Atomic a bit of space. Has he got the reset? No, not quite. And his opposition was quite well lined up to maybe get outplayed. But now, though, heading into the halfway point of game number 1, we are at 1 each. That's the pass out. Mark by 8, he's got Dorito on the side. Does he go to him? Yes, he does. And Ixo, well scouted.
Looked like a bit too telegraphed of a pass, but still a great read by Ixo to cut that one off. The pass was likely the way that Mark was lining up his car. Just past half-time in an important game 1. If Quadrant can win this, that will take the wind out of the sails from G1. They're coming off a series win here, eliminating German Amigos from major contention. That's a great pass by Dorito, deserved. Let's have a teammate waiting in the middle for it. Wave doesn't get the clear to work out for himself. It's not going to go well for them on the back end either. End-to-end stuff from G1. Full team play. Cash just couldn't get that pinch off his own backboard to go to the side.
Yeah, he caught it with the bottom of the car, if anything. Instead of pinching the ball away, it killed the ball on the line. And that was the worst possible outcome for Quadrant. Can they answer back quickly? Atomic back to the midfield. This transition game has been flawless so far. Quadrant unable to hold the midfield too often. Drop pass. 3-0 understands that he was under pressure. Another miss, actually, off the backboard. G1 inching closer and closer. Pass to Atomic. Does see Mark moving in. Didn't get the pass over to him. Cash with space to work with. Reset. And Dorito, 3 of that every day. You've got to just get there. The last thing you want is Cash uncontested on the reset. Oh, wait a minute. He's still got Ixo off the post.
That was a great opportunity. Now Cash is alone in defense again. This time he does just stay low and intercept the attempted mind game from Dorito. I'd love to see something a little bit more proactive there from Dorito. You know, just test Cash early. It's fine to go for a low 50-50 every now and then, but I think the pace was missing in that play. There wasn't really much of a threat. They've had plenty of threats on the majority of their offensive pushes. Here's another one marked by 8 to the backboard. And Dorito's going to cut rotation, turn early. Ixo matches him. Quadrant really lacking opportunities towards the tail end of this game. G1 are all over them.
And that was such a mess caused. I don't understand how this got as bad as it did. Looking over towards Cash, he had boost to work with. Relating Wave had boost to work with. And for a team that was chasing this game, that was awfully tentative.
Yeah, I think they're really just trying to control the ball there. They don't want to slap it away with a half clear with the 1 goal deficit. The kickoff might play in their favor here. Indeed it has. Cash looking to shoot directly. Oh, what a goal from Cash. Just when you think he's going to drop down a pass, he goes on the other side of the ball and shoots it.
That is unbelievable by Cash. Well, you're wondering why everyone wants to see him at a major event again. That is exactly why. Cash, whose stock rose so much during the Rotterdam Major, looking to add to that. And now with 15 seconds left, Quadrant hunting away.
Suddenly they've come to life, but time's getting away from them in the final few seconds now. G1's rotation looks intact. Ixo with an option out right. He's got both his teammates up there, actually. They need to spread out a bit, and they're not going to. It's G1 holding on to take game 1.
Oh, definitely a little bit of a flurry towards the end of that one, but G1 deservedly, in my opinion, got themselves up and running. And when we do look towards the scores, there's one player that we need to see come online still, Johnny. Relating Wave 112 points. Did seem a little bit invisible here.
I think it's fine, you know, to see that in one game. If it's a consistent, you know, pattern throughout the series, I'd be concerned. But this first game, it seemed like Quadrant just lacked the defensive synergy more than anything else. We saw a couple of times where there were multiple players close to the ball in threatening positions, and they just don't know who's supposed to go. You know, maybe running out of momentum at key moments, but still well played by G1. You know, they've been on the they've been playing for their major life many times this weekend, and every time they're put in these positions, they've performed. They did, of course, fall at the one chance they had to just straight up clinch it. But whenever they've been facing elimination, they've performed and they've got the wins necessary. They're doing it again.
G1 have shown us something a little bit different. When we came into the pre-show today, G1 were not a team I was backing, and it was because every time that they have to show some of that bottle, it doesn't work. They tend to crumble. Well, that has not been the case in this event. It's very difficult to hold that Team Liquid loss against them, given what Team Liquid went on to do. It's all about finishing the job here. 3 games away from heading over to San Diego. Ixo only into the path of Atomic, who is delaying. Realized that the demo was coming through. Now Mark Beer off the pass. That is... well, it's gone somewhere. I'm not entirely sure what for. And Cash will take back over.
I think Mark was more interested in just hitting that hard into the back corner than shooting. He would have had to wait a bit longer to get a shot on target in that position. Didn't want to wait. They'd rather just make the quick play. Hope that there's a Quadrant defender diving who's about to be outplayed. Of course, that time there wasn't a defender diving into position, so Mark's touch just looked like a bit of a giveaway of possession. You know, from this POV, he's not sure. Oh, this is a bit of a mess on G1's goal line now. Relating Waves here to play, but what happened here?
Getting bullied. He's just getting bullied.
Oh, he pre-jumps as well. I mean, it's definitely a great play to bump him, and not a great play for Mark and Dorito, losing control in the back corner for absolutely nothing, but Atomic pre-jumping there just didn't guess correctly. Had the wrong top corner covered.
Well, Dorito, through the smoke screen for Ace, my POV was at least in position. Ixo called one for the pass. Relating Wave, he's got the bump actually, and Mark Bayet keeps control of the car. So over to the corner, Relating Wave still bump searching. He's got his team a little bit of time. Cash almost drops it down yet again. Just so deadly from those sort of positions. You never know what Cash is going to come up with. And boost toggles on a few players now. He's running low over on the side of G1. Back over to Atomic. Actually misses it. Ixo pulled in, and what a recovery.
Yeah, Atomic got himself in trouble there, but he got himself out of it as well, making up for his mistake. Still long time left in the game for G1. They look lively. They're outplaying Ghosts at times, though, in this second game. They're expecting Quadrant to be racing them to the ball, and actually Quadrant are just letting G1 make touches. And, you know, when pace is prioritized at the expense of accuracy, just letting the other team touch the ball can be an effective strategy. That's sort of what Quadrant are doing, because G1 have been very quick. They've been very effective with their touches. When Quadrant are going, when Quadrant just sit back and let G1 hit it, well, it's not really going anywhere for G1. They've got to start aiming these touches. They've got to start passing. They've got to start really threatening with every touch that they get on the ball.
I can imagine this is not the way G1 would like to go about the situation they find themselves in. When you've got the nerves that I'm sure this sort of tiebreaker guild.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Well, speaking of nerves, I don't think you would see this any other time from a player like Mark Bayet.
Oh, it's definitely a tough position there for Mark. He had very little boost on the retreat, tried to read the downward bounce, and just half volley the ball into the midfield, misses it. But yeah, it's a tough position to be in. Great work by Quadrant, it's making it difficult for him. It does make Mark look a bit silly there, but it's a missable touch. I definitely categorize that as a forced error. But you've also got to look at Mark's boost management as well. You know, why is he on low boost? Maybe he could have saved a bit of boost earlier in the play. What a pass as well. This is from Quadrant. They've got G1 scrambling in defense here. Post to the rescue for the Spaniards. Much better game, though, for the English squad.
The very best way you can describe what Quadrant do at the moment is they're so awkward. It's not necessarily quick. It's not mechanical. It's just difficult positions constantly for G1 where they're always being tested. Are you going to make a small mistake? Are you going to make a small mistake? And if whatever comes through, Quadrant are happy to see it. Ixo with time gets the ball back over to Cash and actually straight back to Ixo.
It's so unfortunate for Ixo. He's done well there to spot Cash for the pass and just couldn't really get out of the way of it. Didn't want to waste the little boost he did have. Oh, look at this from G1. They've actually scored now to make this very tense at the ending. And it's Atomic with a great recovery. Relating Wave not expecting him to have that much pace on the shot.
You can see Relating Wave actually on the wall started to dip the car back down. He did not think Atomic had that much left in him. And as soon as Atomic had the power, Relating Wave was already dead to rights. Cash misses the ball. Everybody having the ball loiter in the midfield. It is Relating Wave that takes back over, and that 100 boost is going to be awfully thankful for him to grab hold of. Ixo off the backboard. Good purchase on the clear. 44 seconds. Challenge from Ixo. Mark Bayet takes his time. Something that G1 will probably need to do a little bit more of in the future games. But for now, there's time to rush Cash. What a challenge this is from him, and all the time ticking off the clock.
You can see exactly what happened to Quadrant is now happening to G1. In the first game, Quadrant trying to control the ball in the back corner, looking to get a counter-attack started, which it looks like they will, but no, Atomic misses. G1 are trying to do likewise here. They don't want to just give the possession away. Multiple turns to try and start air dribbles. Quadrant are shutting them down. They've advanced their defensive line. Oh, hold on a second. The Doritos chase Relating Wave out of position. Pre-flip center ball. This might not be the end just yet.
Atomic off the wall. Wants the second. He has got it. Where's the support for him? Mark keeps the ball alive. Dorito went for the bump, but there's nothing left, and Quadrant have got themselves their first game. G1 and Quadrant all tied up in this series to see who grabs the 5th major spot.
A very tense ending there, but Quadrant doing enough in the early game to put themselves out of reach. So important that they got themselves into this series early. G1 have been playing all day. They've been competing all day. Now Quadrant with their second game of the day tie the series. This is a I think the way that they need to be playing this is like getting everybody forward, full rotation. No like priority third man. I like it when they're getting Relating Wave involved in the attack. I think honestly, Ixo for me has been the guy that I want to see at the back for Quadrant, because he's had the consistency in those big moments for me. And of course, you never want to see Cash in defense, not because he's a bad defender, but because we want to see the cannon up front where the cannon is meant to be. But can they bring that momentum into game 2? I think the fact G1 scored the last goal will probably have us right back into level here. Does indeed in the series as a whole. Any momentum from winning a game will probably be shut down. Oh, it's a bit of a tense start already. There's Ixo again with a great read and a great save.
This is the sort of Rocket League that I find so much fun to watch, Johnny. That is just it.
Wow.
Ixo, massive on both sides of the field.
With that save, really for me is play of the game, but great snipe across the pitch from Ixo as well. He's been pretty adamant on social media recently about how underrated he feels their team has been all season and currently as well. They need to prove it here, and they are. Relating Wave makes it too. Ixo lunges in the back corner, takes Mark out the play. Relating Wave was quicker up than Atomic. Good speed.
Quadrant have not fallen for a single fake challenge so far. Every single time G1 think, okay, well, we've been playing plenty fast, so surely when we take this one slow, that's going to catch them out. It doesn't work. For whatever reason, Quadrant are the team that I feel are reacting to the pressure the best. Now, both teams have had wobbly moments, but it seems to me like G1 are starting to get a little bit more of them as we go through. Dorito on the turn, will be under pressure, plays off the wall. Actually might be able to get the pass off, but there's nobody around.
Yeah, they're just, I think, lacking passing options, G1. It's not all to do with the player hitting the ball. It's, oh, look at this. They've got plenty of passing options here, but they're all running ahead for demos. I mean, I think it's the play off the ball that's limiting their passing options more than anything else. A lot of priority on physical play, and, you know, when you're lingering upfield, it's sometimes to receive a pass, sometimes to run ahead for a demo, but rarely both at the same time. I think G1 could maybe make themselves available a bit more often, and that would force them to, or force Quadrant to split their attention between covering those solo plays, covering the passing plays, dodging the demos. I mean, G1, there were so many options at their disposal. I feel like they're just not using them all right now.
Yeah, just haven't quite hit the rhythm that G1 would like. Hasn't clicked just yet. Here is Relating Wave. Played so good in game number 2. You were saying that you didn't want too many games that look like game number 1 from him, where it's sort of relying on what's happening around him. Well, he's been the forefront ever since then.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we're seeing the exact reason why. You're seeing why it's sort of Relating Wave is the main focus when it comes to analyzing this team, because Relating Wave and the way he plays is the tell as to how Quadrant feels.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think there's a few teams in that regard.
Cash could be one. Oh,
it's gonna land. Mark runs it in. This is a great decision. What a little pass that is from Atomic while finding Mark in the back corner. Dorito knew immediately what he had to do. Great timing on the dribble by Mark as well. Didn't get too far behind as to allow an easy dodge from Cash. He didn't get too far ahead either, just like that sweet spot where you're right behind your opponent. Oh, you're joking. This is just not acceptable.
The stage is yours.
What on earth are G1 doing? I mean, I've pointed out they've close cheated quite a few times today. Ixo goes for a big dunk on the kickoff, knowing that they have not covered their net on a couple of previous kickoffs of series. So, you know, G1 making a big mistake there, taking a risk, but also huge brain by Ixo. He spotted them doing that earlier in the series, and he's punished them right there.
Just like that, G1 have got all the work to do yet again. Had time to work with when it came to getting that goal back. Atomic pass over to Dorito. Well spotted by Relating Wave, put himself in the right position, has got Ixo on the far side. Ixo does move in. Cash follow up. Not required. The fake challenge was enough to get the ball away from Atomic. Pop from Cash. Dorito, oh my goodness, well, that's certainly a way of dealing with Cash.
Another couple of wayward touches though from G1. I mean, Where are these touches going? Who's the intended target? It looks like Quadrant are more than ready to handle them. It's another demo land, so that has worked. It's Atomic panic flipping, looking to loft the ball middle and misses entirely. G1 need to find form. They need to find it soon. Quadrant have solidified. Second game in a row, they look like they're playing comfortably better than their opponents.
Nervous Rocket League. This is what happens when everything's on the line. You get the highest highs and the lowest lows. Everything in between when it comes to a series like this. Quadrant are the ones that have settled. And usually it's a team that can play closest to their normal level that will come out on top. Quadrant do seem to be that team. Oh, double commit on the wall. Atomic does still take control.
Oh my
Cash gets
goodness.
bumped into it, and he's going to take control of the ball again.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. That's such a that's such a good challenge opportunity for Cash there. He gets bumped by Mark into a perfect challenge on the counter-attacking player from G1. G1 have they've made the most of those opportunities all game, but sometimes when you play those bumps facing the wrong direction, it can result in things like that. Oh, wait a minute, what is happening here? Well, Quadrant's defense has been so organized, and all of a sudden they get a goal out of nowhere. Cash just left it. He didn't realize Dorito was going to go again. He left it for the goalkeeper. Dorito just plays it twice.
And that's careless.
Very.
With 32 seconds left, we're going to see if G1 can have a late lunge at this game. That's the sort of ball that they'd like to see off here. Oh, wait, now the player's gone. Cash, last person back. And he's got the save. Dorito in field. Back to Atomic. Goes for net again. That's bounced out. Mark was unable to read where the save would go. But still, G1 looking for that extra goal, trying to send us to overtime.
It's got to be a return pass there from G1. They had the free 1-2 pass, and they just didn't go for it. They rushed the shot. It got saved, and now Quadrant have them on another 0-second opportunity, but it looks speculative. How are they going to pull this one off?
Dorito with Atomic. Atomic goes up, beat to the ball by Relating Wave. Mark Bayer with time to play. That's straight into the path of Relating Wave yet again. If they're going to beat Quadrant, they've got to get past Relating Wave first. Atomic going to go off the backboard. How good was that to just hold the nerve on the backboard? Quadrant put the ball down. They take control of the series.
Yeah, good play there from Quadrant on the backboard, as you mentioned. The spotting that Atomic didn't have a reset, so you don't have to worry about him changing the trajectory of the ball. Just go straight for it, get a solid touch. I think having a flip reset there would have made a lot of sense for Atomic. I think if you're going to try and create a 0-second goal against multiple defenders, a flip reset is the perfect way to do it. You're going to get people panicking. You're going to get people jumping out of the way. The G1, I think they've kind of misplayed their last few opportunities there, and they've called a timeout to discuss what they can do better. I mean, for me, I think they just got to take a bit more time with their attacking chances. They had a glorious opportunity at 1 goal down right after scoring the second goal of the game for themselves. I think the 1-2 pass was just obvious. I think it was right there staring them in the face, but they went for the immediate shot, and that's just not going to work against goalkeepers at that range. So I think when you look at the very top teams in the world right now, your Gen Gs, your Carbon Corps, they're making a 1-2 passing play there every single time. They've got the synergy. But, in this high-pressure situation, mistakes like that can happen. Players are definitely rushing a lot of their touches at the moment in this series.
It's just so nervy for them. I keep going back to this, but no other time do I see plays like, I believe it was Dorito with the side flip, the panic flip, when he had loads of time with the ball. He was unchallenged and just kind of gave it away. That was didn't really lead to much of anything, but it's not something that you would typically expect to see. And I believe you described it in the best way of they're playing against ghosts at times. They're expecting Quadrant to be in places that Quadrant simply aren't.
Yeah.
On Quadrant's side, this has been a major step up. And to go back to that Relating Wave point we've made, well, he's been the standout player for me in these past 2 games.
He's been solid. He's been playing very well, and I think he's a player who does get a lot of criticism for his performance under pressure. But I think most of that is due to his LAN performances. When it comes to online, you don't make 5 open era RLCS LANs in a row without playing well in these qualification matches. So Relating Wave probably getting a bit too much criticism in these kind of situations, where it's actually his teammates, Ixo and Cash, who have had the history of just barely missing out on qualification for majors and for major events online as well. Relating Waves is stepping up here. It's up to G1 to respond. They've had the timeout to discuss what's going wrong for them. In my opinion, it's pretty clear. They just need to really take their time, go for a bit more accuracy rather than speed, and maybe take that one extra touch before shooting, just to make sure that you're not passing to the final defender.
Oh, Cash underneath, straight to Relating Wave. What a duo that was! How early is this communicated where Relating Wave is just sat underneath waiting for it?
Yeah, Cash just completely fakes out the first challenge there. And there was no follow-up challenge anywhere to be seen. Marked by 8 pre-jumped early. Thought Cash was going to go high for the flip reset. Cash just there, dribbles it low. Relating Wave's there for the finish. That's the better kickoff there from G1. Little back right possession, but they are immediately dispossessed. Demo's continuing to be a successful method of opening up the field for G1. Quadrant continue to just get occasionally caught out by them.
Atomic now in the corner, has got Cash waiting for him. Yeah, difficult position to get away from, I guess, when Cash is around. He's also taking on another one. Oh, good challenge from Marked by 8. That gives his team a lot of breathing room now. They move into the offensive side of the field. So they're going to do it. They've got to get past Cash, who seems very happy now to, rather than go for the outplay, also go for the 50. As Dorito, backboard double tap. It's down from Mark. Top corner.
Great work from Dorito. That is not an easy reset double to threaten, but not only does he nail the reset, he also completely denies the clear and leaves it open for Marked by 8. Dorito with a monstrous play to get G1 back into this. We're only potentially 9 minutes away from Quadrant being at the major. These two teams are currently playing for that 5th seed in Europe, if you just tuned in. Quadrant so close. G1 still going to fight with everything that they have, use every ounce of energy they've got left after this long day that they've already had.
If you are just tuning in, there is a brilliant VOD waiting for you at the end of this. It's been quite the day. We'll not spoil who won the finals for you, but also don't look at chat at the moment, because they probably will.
We might by accident.
We might by we definitely will by accident. Okay, we definitely will. So they go back to Dorito. Has got Cash waiting for him. Atomic goes underneath.
Wow.
What a read!
Just perfect, absolutely perfect from Atomic. He's up quickly and predicts the pre-jump from Cash, shoots it underneath him. How well have G1 used those stealing passes today? It seems like this is, just the next in a line of many successful counterattacks that start with G1 hitting the ball into their own stealing it. Right there, that is what you're used to seeing from backball clears. Just a very clean, arcing ball going down to the other side of the field. G1 have actually sent the ball intentionally into the ceiling a couple of times just to get it downwards towards their teammates who are waiting in that little pocket underneath them. Again, trying to use that ceiling to bounce the ball downwards more quickly into a threatening position. Really interesting to see them consistently use this strategy to success.
Now Atomic trying to add some finesse to all of this. Doesn't get the best touch out of Relating Wave, so it was up to G1 as to whether or not they want to keep going infield now to Relating Wave. Off target from him. G1 is still hunting for these demos. Relating Wave. Oh, that's not amazing from Dorito back in. Atomic over the...
Wow.
It is every single time. Recovery after recovery, and Atomic has outdone them.
Again, he's just fastest to the ceiling bounce. He reads it more quickly than Quadrant do. And a flurry from G1 has them comfortably in the lead. Still a long way to go. It looks like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. They are still playing their kickoffs pretty riskily, but Quadrant not going for that same dunk strategy that Ixo pulled off in the last game. I'd love to see Ixo bring that one back, though, 'cause it looks wide open every time. It really does look like a very free opportunity on net, as this might be Cash off the back of a Relating Wave double center ball has fought back for Quadrant.
That's beautiful from Relating Wave. My goodness. And if you're G1, you just have to respect that this could be on net. As much as you might not believe it, It's
here
either
he
on
is.
net or it's to Cash, and the pass to Cash, you're not getting there. It's just not happening.
It's beautiful to see that both teams really going for it here. They're not holding back. They're not sitting on 1-goal leads. They are fighting for more goals. And that's really what we want to see in positions like this. Attacking Rocket League, exciting Rocket League. And if they can keep this up for the remaining games, we might be in for a long series here. Still, timeout available for Quadrant if this one doesn't go too well. G1 really have made the most of their chances. Here's another one, Atomic with a double, and he puts it in. I mean, that is a phenomenal hat trick from Atomic. 2 quick reads on ceiling bounces, and now a consistent double tap for 2 G1.
So much credit there has to go to Dorito. It's the pace that Dorito is playing at that is causing the panics. All 3 of Quadrant were all grouped up because they all thought, I'm going to have to be the one that covers Dorito. It's just getting that ball into those spaces that is between these players. But they're not entirely sure who's supposed to have it. Dorito's still on this. I think Dorito's entire... They turned around to Dorito after that timeout and just went ball chase. And it's working, and I love it.
Yeah, I love that they're also just passing the ball for a lot more of their goals now as well. This is exactly what G1 needed. You don't have to just shoot every single ball you see first time. A bad shot, if you think about it, is just passing the ball to the other team's goalkeeper. So, G1 have made that mistake earlier in the series. They definitely have not made that mistake often in Game 4.
Ixo takes control. If Quadrant are going to make a game of this, it needs to happen soon. Scored a worldie for their second one. Cash would like this to be a bit simpler. But that was a very orange wall waiting for them on the goal line. Double commit on the goal. Doesn't happen now. 5-2, 4-2, doesn't make any difference. It's something to go their way. And with the pace that G1 are playing at, it does not look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, they just have to keep recovering here. That's all that matters when you've got a lead like this. And that's exactly what G1 are going to do. They have denied Quadrant the time that they would require for a comeback and leveled up the series. Now the question is, will Quadrant call a timeout? I think it would be a pretty good idea in this situation myself. It is only, a 2-2 series. But G1 were on fire that game. I think they played brilliantly. Atomic especially was on the end of every attack. He could not stop getting opportunities. Quadrant have called the timeout. I think that's a really, really smart call by them. The series is completely level. If they can just slow down the momentum G1 have clearly got with this timeout, take the advantage again in Game 5, then there is no timeout for G1. So it would just be Game 6, 7 required for them with no breaks. I think it's a really good call from Quadrant here.
As well, considering G1 didn't just come into this one as if they'd pressed the refresh button. They came in with a plan and a strategy. They were hitting the ceiling. The recoveries were ridiculous. Finding the passing plays, which you really, really wanted to see from them. When you see a team that has taken a timeout and come with a brand new identity, their play style, it's time to figure it out. It's time to sit down and talk to each other and say, okay, what are they doing and how do we deal with that? But for the time, Quadrant, I don't feel they need to change much. G1 were playing very, very well there. Quadrant just need that little extra step up and they'll be able to manage along with it. It's just figuring out who goes on the defense, which has really been catching them out.
Yeah, you're asking a lot of a last man back if you're trying to defend G1. One man for one man. You need to have rotations coming in. You need to have follow-up challenges. Atomic was just so blisteringly quick in this game that a Quadrant couldn't keep up with them. Quadrant, they've also got to look out for those ceiling passes that G1 keep reverting to. It's something that I feel like it's an automatic reaction for a lot of professional players. When you see a back wall clear for the opponents going straight up into the ceiling, you think, oh, they've messed that up. Let me go in and intercept that messed up clear. But G1 are right underneath the ball with their second man, waiting for that exact thing to happen. So it's very risky to advance when it looks like G1 have messed up a clear ball. Very often it's actually just a passive defense to one of their other players. Quadrant, if they get caught out by that often, will end up in those nightmare scenarios 1v1 with players like Atomic, players like Dorito who are making big mechanical plays.
Well, we can see the kitchen behind Snasky, the coach. Let's see what he's cooked up for his team.
Nice.
As we get ourselves into Wasteland. Thank you very much. Game number 5. Who is going to be taking the series point, the double series point? It's Dorito starting us off up against Cash. And Cash backflips almost in surrender to the might of Dorito.
Yeah, Ixo is just a hair away from bumping Dorito there. You can see that he's trying to go for the bump straight away as soon as he ended up on the wrong side of the ball. But he didn't get it, and that left Cash completely isolated. As we're saying, you don't want to be in 1v1s against these mechanical players. And they are actually going to send one right back. Well, look who it is. It's Relating Wave from the back corner kickoff, who fakes the air dribble up high, slows it down, ducks the mark by 8, and immediately equalizes.
You know what? I'm going to stop making any mention that it's ever Relating Wave. It's becoming expected of him in this series. He has been unreal since game 1. Now off the kickoff again, I feel like we've been in this position, but Cash gives us a different result.
That's a complete carbon copy of the first kickoff of the game. But this time, Quadrant's last man does well. Gets the crucial save. Cash going to try and put them in front. He's got a reset here. Oh, he's very close to somehow getting back to the ball. Relating Wave and Ixo still following up on him here. The attack's not done. What a start to the game this is. But Quadrant have overextended again. Doritos 1v1. And another perfect flick sets him up for an open net. Well, do not let this guy dribble your last man. You're not going to have a good time. That was a zero boost flick from Dorito. He launched it into the joint and then followed up with an open net of his own.
Well, what's it going to take to go to the San Diego Major? Apparently, it's the Dorito diff that is making the difference for G1. They've got the lead back. They keep getting 1v1s. Here's Relating Wave again. And there's that moment of belief now every time Wave has got the ball in those positions. And the good thing that I like actually from Wave in those spots is that he's been mixing it up between pass and shots. It means that you have got to respect either option. Although these are the positions that maybe Quadrant haven't done quite as well in. Just keep the ball away from Dorito. Oh my goodness, they have not kept the ball away from Dorito. Okay, I'm scared.
It's a great read from Dorito there. Pinch center ball from Quadrant, intercepted by the man who's completely taken game 5 by storm. He just cannot be stopped. He's looking to set up another goal for his team here by dusting someone in the midfield. Quadrant are all over the place because they've realized that the pace G1 are playing at has to be answered. They cannot just sit back and let G1 outpace them, go and hit every ball uncontested. And do they have the mechanical ability in this incredibly high pressure, tense situation to match them? Dorito once again doing what's required.
The pace of this series is all over the place. It goes from being a slow, methodical one to just outright blistering. It's going to be Ixo who wins the race. That was a photo finish to see who hit the ball first, but Ixo just across the line.
Oh, well, this is just Relating Wave against Dorito in this game. What a pass from Relating Wave. Dispossesses mark by 8, and then just beats the last man to the punch and set up an open net for Ixo. I'll be honest, though, I didn't think it was going to be Relating Wave against Dorito, stealing the spotlight in this series. And delighted to see those two players stepping up on this huge occasion. Biggest match of their season so far.
And this is the one that people remember. This is the one that people will look back upon when it comes to evaluating the contributions that you've made. Letting Wave again off the wall. He's got the setup off the backboard. Nobody loitering on that far side. Here comes Cash. And you look at the way Relating Wave has been playing. It's easy to remind yourself it's Relating Wave on the bump.
He's done it again. Relating Wave. He stops G1 from getting control of the back corner, and then he sits on the goalkeeper as well. This guy has completely exploded in game 5. Dorito looked like an early shout for the man of the game, but what a response from Relating Wave and Quadrant.
Well, so we didn't want an invisible game. This is quite the opposite. There is nobody else that you can take your eyes off of at the moment. Relating Wave. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. And they need a little bit more. He's almost got the setup. And it was a whisker away from being 4-2. Here comes Cash off the backboard. Don't forget about him. And that's the scary thing about Quadrant. If Relating Wave is doing this, we still haven't seen the best of Ixo and Cash, who we know can take over.
Yeah, this is a crazy thing to think about. We've hardly seen any clips from Ixo and Cash. Relating Wave is just running the offense right now. It probably should have been 4-2 there. It was a perfect center ball from Relating Wave off the air dribble. But Ixo couldn't read it. So he has certainly done enough as an individual. He could drop his controller and sit still for the remaining minute, and he'd still, I think, be the most impactful player. They're not quite there yet. It's another dangerous position. He won, probing, looking for opportunities, trying to find the angle that they can exploit.
Here's Relating Wave, daring his almost opposite number for this series, Dorito, to come and challenge him. 45 seconds left. 1 goal difference. Dorito wins the challenge. Cash might not get back in time. Pass over to the side, and they take Cash out by adding an extra layer to the play.
Well, that dunk from Dorito is disgusting. How has he read that? And I believe he's intentionally hit the near post there. It looks like he was aiming for it because he knows he's got options in the middle. As long as he hits it close enough to that near post, the goalkeeper will jump, leaving the net open for his teammate. Dorito responds again. Does Relating Wave have an answer? It seems like we're watching a 1v1 on Wasteland.
Here's Mark. Misses the ball. Dorito's low on boost. Ixo's gone hunting for a goalkeeper. Relating Wave now down low. He's got past one. Dorito front. Mark almost gets back. He's done exactly that. What are we watching? This has been something special here on Wasteland. Which individual effort is going to be rewarded the most? Relating Wave stealing! Atomic has to pre-jump him.
This is just incredible. How on earth are Relating Wave and Dorito getting so much action every time that they touch the ball? It's into overtime, and if we don't see this ending with a big play from one of those two, I'm going to be disappointed. I've come to expect it at this point.
Relating Wave off a challenge is low on boost. Grabs him in the corner. Mark by 8 clears. Dorito on the chase. He's won that challenge as well. Double commit off the backboard. Dorito just plays for a bit of time. Realized that play had fizzled out. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be the 2 talismans? Is somebody else going to step up? Both teams littered with talent that can make the difference. Dorito off the ball, and it's wide.
Well, Mark by 8 landed the bump. The shot was off, though. And now here comes Relating Wave. He's actually going to miss and let Dorito come in the play. Oh, he had to let off and level at some point. There it was. Finally a misplay from Relating Wave, but he's right back in the business. Starting the attack for Quadrant. Cash fakes it middle. End-to-end stuff. Over a minute into overtime. So Mark pops it middle for Atomic, who's, for once, not the quickest to the ball. Cash pass 2. Ixo trying to dunk through the last man. Looks like we've got a momentary slow in the pace, but not for long. Dorito with the finishing goal. Atomic lays it off to him. What an assist. Sneaking it past Relating Wave, and Cash had no chance from that range.
Dorito, hat-trick hero, takes over, and he wins the battle, the war even, between him and Relating Wave. My goodness, Johnny, it will be a long time until we see a game that looks like that one.
I mean, with talent like Atomic, Mark by 8, Cash, and Ixo in the field, you just don't expect to see Dorito and Relating Wave completely take over. But that really was just, it was one player for each team. Every time they touched the ball in regulation, it was dangerous. Every time that they were on the ball, it looked like they were up to something. But it was actually Atomic who clutches it up in overtime, outplaying the aforementioned Relating Wave to give Dorito the easy finish. I mean, I say easy. He still had to be there. Good trust from Dorito, and a brilliant shot. But wow. G1 on double match point. This could be the return to Major, the return to LAN for Mark by 8. This could be Dorito and Atomic's LAN, RLCS LAN debut. Unless Quadrant come back from 2 in a row. Timeouts have been used. They are no longer available. We're on Neo Tokyo. It's double match point for G1.
If G1 make it through, it would say so much towards the talent that is being developed over in Europe. Atomic and Dorito are incredible. Yes, definitely. I feel like you're using me to win an argument that I haven't heard at some point there, Johnny, but I'm disagreeing with you. Well, let's see what Quadrant have got here. No more timeouts left. Relating wave off the ceiling. Are we going to get a continuation? It's Ixo. He stuck it in.
Oh, yes, we are. Relating wave right back to his game 5 farm. With a ceiling pass. Atomic thought it was in. I mean, he saw Relating Wave hit the ball. He thinks, well, that must be on target because Relating Wave is playing absolute blinder right now. But it's hit the crossbar, and Ixo's there to slot the rebound. 1-0 to Quadrant. I'm sure all the neutral fans, which has got to be the majority of the viewership, I would guess, in a situation like this, tie-break for a major spot, all praying for a Game 7. And that's where we're headed at this rate.
It's been a very un-European style of day we've had today, Johnny. We came into this, we hadn't seen Champions Field for a grand final. We got it today. We might get another one, depending on if Quadrant can hold off. Or maybe add 2 when Relating Wave's coming for it. It was him versus Dorito, maybe the only person that could have beaten to that ball. You're Relating Wave, who is going to move on to this. He's actually got a target! He has hooked around that ball and given it some hit to put it in.
A brilliant pass from Ixo. Relating Wave trusting him and turns aggressively for the finish. 2-0. Quadrant looking to send us to that Game 7. Now, it was just over a year ago that we had Vamos winning a tiebreaker in North America, Complexity, over SSG. It's looking like they might need to do it in Game 7 in Europe as well if Vamos are going to take another tiebreaker. Relating Wave makes it 3. It was never going to be that easy, never going to be that simple, was it?
Well, we're already within a goal away. I think 4-0, and this one gets called. Right now, it's still within reach for G1. The demo attempt. They're going to make something of this. It's going to be something special and something that Quadrant would never want to think back on. For Relating Wave, he'll look at all of the performances that himself and his teams have had to make it to majors. And he'd be looking back at this one and going, well, surely, like this was the easiest one to make it into the level I'm playing at. No, you're going to have to go to Champions Field if you want it there, mate.
You know, right now, if we were just to make a super team out of this lobby, who deserves the major? It'd be Relating Wave Dorito, and they've got 1 spot left. They've just tweeted LF1 for the Winter Major. And now it's Atomic, Mark by Ixo and Cash that are playing for it. Let's see who can produce the goods.
I mean, interesting wrinkle to add to the RLCS. Just midway through a series, people can change.
Troll your teammates while also winning.
The ultimate roster mainer has become the esport. There we go. Ixo going to chase ahead for Atomic. Can't quite add that 4th. I've got everybody trying to theorize now who that 3rd would be in this series.
I think we're going to find out in Game 7. At this rate.
Surely it doesn't stay the Dorito Relating Wave shot. I mean, I say that. It very well could be.
I mean, they've been on form in this game as well. I think Relating Wave in particular, he's just so effective every time he gets involved in offense. So look at this, though. It's your man, Dorito. He doesn't want to be forgotten about. I mean, this is just ridiculous. They are dominating.
Well, I was going to say, does Relating Wave just actually want a 1v1? But then I realized it is Dorito. No, you don't want to take that 1v1. I respect Relating Wave. You're not having that 1v1 against Dorito.
Actually, I don't know. The Relating Wave's he's top 101. I feel like I've not seen Dorito in there. I don't know how Dorito's ones game is.
I did not understand that Relating Wave was that high up. I thought Dorito had been smashing it recently, but I haven't got my history right, apparently.
Dorito play ones? How do I not know the answer to this question? I feel like I should know that.
There we go. There's a future stream for you there, mate. I know I'd definitely tune in.
I want to see it. I mean, if you can 1v3, surely you can 1v1.
So 2 minutes away. Maybe 1 goal away. Dorito actually fakes out Cash. Whoa!
Oh, boy.
Hold on there. 1 goal between them. Lots of time on the clock.
Now, listen, if Dorito has called that, if that was an intentional fake, then he is a genius because that is impossible to read. He viciously throws himself at the ball only to flip past it and leave it for Atomic. Another within one. Quadrant started so strong, but it's fallen apart a little bit here. And there's a long time left. This is going to feel like a long minute and 39 seconds for Quadrant, sitting on a 1-goal lead. G1 did get a little bit of help for one of those goals at least. So see if they can work their hardest for a third.
I'm nervous for them at the moment, Johnny. It's one of those theories. You can tell how much it means to everybody. So would have loved to see it. Now it's Burrito chasing around. Mark Bay is going to go looking for Cash. Can Cash survive? No, he cannot!
Goodness.
The ultimate comeback. G1 hold all the cards.
Quadrant, you cannot send 2 players. You've got a 1-goal lead already. Why? Why are they committing the second man there? You know it's coming. You know they're going to demo you on the counter. It's Vamos, Shogun. Right now, all the cards point towards Vamos winning another tiebreaker for an RLCS Major spot. You simply do not want to play against Spanish-speaking players in these situations.
Well, Quadrant have got to prove that they've got a mental fortitude that few believe that they had. That bout's so awkward for everybody. 3 to start for Quadrant. 3 back for G1. Marked by 8 to make it 4. Relating wave there in time. Dorito.
Oh!
Off the post!
Well, that was it. That was the chance. Atomic just didn't get the right placement on the shot. But they're all over them. It's 3 straight goals unanswered for G1. Looking to end it in game 6.
Oh, that's a misplay! Ixo gets back down in time to stop Mark. Now he looks to take it past everybody. Dorito, that's actually his own goal. He's got Atomic supporting him. Oh, we're all over the place now, Johnny. It's Dorito back to the corner. Cash happy to see it. He'll take back in. Ixo demoed. Relating wave last one back. That's the bounty you would like to see, though. Overtime, Champions Field.
Wait.
Or do we even need it?
Wait.
Go slow. Cash against Mark. We are going to need overtime.
G1 are just a goal away from the Winter Major. Quadrant on their last life here. Can they capitalize on an overextension? Fake challenge from Atomic. Makes the touch, but still going to be Quadrant coming forward. I feel like either way, this is going to be pretty exciting. Dorito only going to get on the end of the touch. Well, the Quadrant are going to be delighted that he couldn't catch up to that one, because they have been reeling at the pressure Dorito's put on them. He's all over them again. Looks for a double at the near post. Faking shots. And there it is! Dorito to Atomic to the back of the net.
Unbelievable. Brilliant shot by Atomic. But today, on the most roller coaster of days, G1 are going to San Diego.